That's good.
Hi everybody. We're alive. We're here. We're playing D&D. It's going to be a short session, unfortunately, because traffic sucks, and uh, really, unfortunately, we had um, on my way home from dropping my wife off at work, there was a major accident nearby, and hopefully everybody is safe and nobody is in too bad of shape or situation because of that. But they did shut down the highway. It was backed up for literally miles and miles. And I spent uh, an hour and 40 minutes in my car. So, uh, so here we are. Late, but here. Um, I'm going to put some music in. Why don't you guys go ahead and start introducing yourselves and your characters, and we'll get started right away.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Hello, everybody. I am Big Lundy here on Twitch as well as on Twitter. I am going to be playing the now level 10 Astral Self Monk, Vasir, who, we've been relaxing at his monastery for a little while here now, and unfortunately he's going to have to say goodbye, at least for now. And, let's hope it just ends up turning out well for everybody. Otherwise, it's going to be a sad time.
Hi, I'm Noor. I'm playing Luna, the half-elf cleric, and I'm tired, so I don't have anything more to say tonight.
Hi, I'm David. I'm playing Angus, the party's revived rogue, who has recently finally put together the pieces of his many, many past lives and knows that he is the 7th incarnation of this soul that has existed in Aridon, and now needs to find a way to break the curse that Eamon Volkmar has laid upon him so that the many spirits residing within him can know the long sleep.
Hi, my name is Kim. I didn't get to know the long sleep last night, so I'm also a little bit tired. But I am playing Mirth, the Tiefling Eloquence Bard Warlock, who is excited, if not a bit nervous, to go trekking off into a big forest with his friend. It's going to be a fun time.
Hey, I'm Rick. I'm the Loophole King. I will be playing Sarani, your Shamblewood Ranger Barbarian Druid, who still has some anger issues, but is going to try to work on those, and is looking forward to not fighting demons for a while. Maybe some regular monster types. Maybe a Hydra. Dragon, something. I don't know.
Hydras only come in pairs in my setting.
They're all mated.
Yes.
They're all made of pairs.
Every single one.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, whatever.
Is that because of Scalene?
What?
Did she go out and make it a purpose mission to make sure that all the Hydras would know love?
We're not touching that one. It's an ancient tradition going back some 2,000 years in Oregon.
Yes.
Hi, I'm extremely caffeinated, otherwise known as Caffey or Xavier. I recently joined the party last episode, and I hope to be of some use in the coming hour, considering we're going to a forest. And rangers are good in forests. Hope.
That's the plan, anyway.
We already have a ranger. Why do we need you?
No, we don't. We don't have a ranger. We have a Drew Rangebarian.
We also have Sharp-Eyed, who is a ranger.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Yes. I was talking about Sharp-Eyed, not me.
We have one and 3/4 rangers between the three of them. I am Mark. I am your dungeon master today. And when we last left off, the party had been sitting around preparing to leave the monastery, discussing what the next steps are. Luna having revealed information about what the queen had shared with her in regards to Coriel Forest. Although Sarani had called forth their tiefling ally Trust, ultimately the party decided that Coriol would be their next destination. With that being said, you have headed into the forest from the monastery. The northern edge of Coriol Forest has been touched by the drought. The trees prematurely browning in the midst of the summer. You're getting close to the spot where Luna and Xavier had first met. That cabin where the cultists had been holed up.
Be careful around here, friends. We're approaching the cabin, so
Didn't you guys already take care of everything there?
Yes, but there is a chance we missed a few, and more might have come back. Who knows?
Well, if we do, let's just punch them.
Obvious solution from the monk.
That's valid.
During the first day, Luna, you spent some time casting legend lore about Enid Volkmar. Can you pop that spell into the chat for me?
Yeah, I can. What level was that? This level? Yeah. So, one moment. There we go.
Name or describe a person, place, or object. The spell brings to your mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named. The lore might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, or even secret lore that has never been widely known. If the thing you named isn't of legendary importance, you gain no information. The more information you already have about the thing, the more precise and detailed the information you receive is. Okay, so what information do you already know about Enid Volkmar?
I think it's only that he's a necromancer.
Well,
And
Luna's casting the spell, so I want to know what Luna
Oh,
knows.
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, in character, I think I know he's a necromancer, and that he did what necromancers do. I guess that's it.
Okay.
That's an offensive stereotype. Talos and Theo would be very upset to hear you talking like that.
I mean, it's true, but that doesn't make it any less hurtful.
Yeah, absolutely. The
Just
information you
don't tell
learn
them
might
that.
is accurate, but might be crouched in figurative language. For example, if you have a mysterious magic axe on hand, the spell might yield this information. Woe to the evildoer's hand touches the axe, for even the haft slices the hand of the evil ones. Only a true child of stone, lover of Morden, blah 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 blah. Okay.
I mean, is it like people talk about Enid Volkmar normally?
I mean,
Or is it
the
something
understood lore, the general knowledge about Enid Volkmar, is that he was the necromancer, not just a necromancer. He was the one who nearly conquered all of the Valkyrian Empire with a unprecedented army of the undead, the likes of which was never seen or has never been seen since in Oregon.
And
that is the standard stuff that like everybody knows, right?
yeah, so what were What would a follower of Tundra know more about this whole matter?
Give me a religion roll and I'll tell you, and then I can build off of that with your legend lore.
Okay.
Oh, nice!
Yeah.
Rolled above a 10.
You know that the Church of Thondra had a major incentive in trying to defeat Volkmar. That the Legion out of Ravenreach, which is where the primary temple to Thondra is located, that legion was of utmost significance in bringing down Volkmar, and that a good part of that is because the sisters, the priesthood of Thondra, had accompanied them into battle, as both clerics and warriors to defeat Volkmar himself. So that's something you know from being a priest of Thondra. Also, that obviously, the bringing back the dead as undead creatures is anathema to Thondra. She hates it. It is a desecration in her eyes. The thing that legend lore tells you is this. Let's see. Legend lore tells you that Volkmar had supposedly discovered necromantic magic that had not been seen in Oridon since before the Cataclysm. Nobody knows how he learned it, although nobody knows what that could be, because that's just the type of thing that you get from myths and legends. Like, nobody really knows what type of magic was around before the Cataclysm, or very few people do. So, that is one thing that's said. That you know that he made strives with his research towards weakening the barrier between the material plane and Sheol, the realm of Thondra, in order to attempt to bring forth greater numbers of the dead and spirits into the material realm. And that these things were written within his grimoire, the Codex Mortem, which was lost after the battle that took place just outside of Ravenreach, in which Enon Volkmar fell.
Okay.
You learn that his tomb was that some of his followers secreted away with his body, and entombed him. At least that's what the legends of his followers say. And that many of his followers sequestered themselves deep in the wastes. These are things that are not widely known, but they're legends and lore passed down by his followers.
Okay.
There's also a legend that foretells that he would return. If, and only if, his greatest servant was unbound.
His greater servant was?
Solavel.
No, I mean, I didn't quite hear what you said. His greatest servant was
Unbound.
unbound.
If his greatest servant was unbound, then Enid Volkmar
Oh.
would return.
Okay.
Gee, sure hope that never happens.
And
Yes, this is big
is
brain
there anything
time.
about? I mean,
Is there
the
something we
reason-
should ask Angus?
Yeah, like the reason I used the spell was to know, like, what's happening with Angus in general. Why? I mean,
Yeah, we didn't really get a chance to like go through it in the RP chat, but one of the things that Angus would probably have done, maybe when we were drinking at dinner together, when everyone was sort of gathered together, is explain the same thing that Angus has already shown to Mirth of like that he found out who his first life was, that person was an elf. Mirth seems to think it was probably a drow elf wizard. And since having had that dream and working up, Angus has found that he has a little bit, tiny little bit of the magic that person once possessed. And so far is able to produce like the shittiest version of dancing light you can imagine. Like he can cast it and produce like one tiny, really faint little light and concentrate on it and like can't hold it for more than about 15 seconds at a time. But the Mirth is helping him to work on that, and so would give it would explain to Luna as well, like I would really appreciate your help and guidance if you and Sarani as well, like you're the spellcasters here, you know how this sort of thing works. Any advice you can give me to try to get more in touch with this person that I once was, that still resides within me, because I guess what I've realized is it's not just for me, really. I need to break this curse because they're all just trapped. Just watching me stumble my way through life, making mistakes, just trying to give advice and guidance where they can, but it's like they're stuck in a void. And that if I can find a way to break the curse, they can all go to their afterlife and see the people that they knew in their lives in the beyond. And so during that, Angus would have given like the name of this drow wizard, Toril Vyas' niece. And so if that would be relevant at all in terms of like getting a bit out of the legend lore, but like he was just one person killed by Enid Volkmar out of literally probably millions, so maybe not.
Well, I will again reiterate that one of the things that Enid Volkmar was attempting to do was weaken the barrier between the world of the living and the world of the dead. And doing various necromantic experiments in order to find a way to do that. You could infer that this elven wizard was a victim of that experimentation. You could infer that maybe there's something more to it. But let me think. Is there are there legends that would specifically have to do with what happened to that particular elf?
I mean, it would depend on how important that elf was.
Yes,
you know, if it was
clearly.
just random drow elf number 92.
let him think.
There's reasonable information that I think you would get from legend lore, explaining that Enan Volkmar's that Enan Volkmar could have had dealings with the Drow. That he probably did have dealings with the Drow.
Okay.
The thing about legend lore is that it would be information directly related to significant lore about the thing you named, right?
Yeah. Hmm. I mean, it's legend.
Yeah.
I can't be sure if it's true.
I think I've given you. No, any information you get from this, it says the information you learn is accurate. So, whatever you learn from this has to be correct information.
Okay.
So it might be not like Enan Volkmar had dealings with the Drow, but more like it's rumored that Enan Volkmar had associations with the Children of Dusk. And you have to like infer what that means.
Right.
Okay.
Where it
That's
could have
fine.
many
The
meanings.
more information you already have about the thing, the more precise and detailed the information you receive is. So you know Angus's soul was tainted by Enan Volkmar originally within the body of this elven wizard. Precise information that you might learn about that is that Volkmar had many apprentices and followers, other necromancers, other wizards who studied under him and who were his lieutenants and who were his subordinates. And that they came from all over Oregon, including from within the ranks of the races that live deep below Oregon's surface. That Volkmar, that they were both his subordinates and also his experimentors and experimentees when it came to necromancy. I'll leave it at that. I think I'll leave it at that. So that's all the information you can have, that I think I can give you at this point.
Okay. I'll share everything with only Vizier for now.
With only Vizier. Okay.
For now.
Understood.
We're not going to keep anything from anybody. I'm not telling anybody.
Well, that's a conversation that you and Vizier may want to have in character.
I also have some spells I'd like to cast.
Okay.
The first of which is a commune to start the day off.
I believe you sent me a list of the spells you wanted to cast.
I sent you 3 sendings for the first day.
Alright, yeah.
Was planning responses, but great. Okay, Lark sent me one.
While he's doing that, may I roll a survival check to see if I can find any paths through the wood that would reasonably lead me to assume in that direction is some kind of structure?
I can do that. I was just about to.
I know, but could I?
Wait, say that again?
So, while he's casting our spells and doing whatever he was, could I please, use my naturey skills to see if I can find any hidden paths through the forest that would ease travel, considering, my ranger abilities,
Yes.
to get
Sure.
to the place?
Absolutely. Give me a survival roll.
$23.
Okay. Yes, you've been able to secure some paths through the forest. There's only one like real road that goes through the forest, and it's only a road about a quarter of the way into the forest, and then it just blends in with the forest paths. But this is elf home territory. Mostly
Yeah, I was going to say, if Angus spots Xavier sort of like poking around on the ground and looking for a trail, Angus is going to like step up, just like grab him by the wrist and have like a quiet little word of, be cautious here. We are guests in this territory and possibly not the most welcome ones. While I appreciate that you are accustomed to traveling in forests, it's probably best if we let Luna go first, and that we keep our wits about us and our eyes open. There will
I can
probably
understand
be people
that.
watching us.
I can understand that, but with all due respect, and she looks at Luna, and again, I don't mean to be rude by this, but well, Miss Luna isn't that good with the stealthiness required to
Do you
move
not
through the
understand
forest.
my point? We are not
I understand your
moving
point.
with stealth. We are here to announce ourselves to the people
I
whose home
understand your
we are
point, but if
offering
you want to get
invitation.
through this forest without spending like a week in it getting lost, I suggest let me do my thing. I'll let
If you
Luna
want
go
to
first.
get into this forest without your throat being slit, you will make sure that you announce
I
yourself
will
to the
let
people whose
Luna
home
go
we are entering.
first.
Guys, can we please look? One of the main things that Xavier is capable of bringing to the foray is he can help guide us. So that's going to be a big thing. So just, let him do that. If we do get into a fight with some elves, first off, I'm pretty sure since Luna's only a half elf, I don't think that's going to win her any brownie points with them. But if we do get into a fight with some elves, I think we can handle ourselves, especially when we're all together.
My point here, Vizier, is not to get into a fight. And while I understand, of course, that Luna is only a half-elf, that's still one half better than the rest of us have going for us.
Or
I'm not
more of
full-
a point against her.
I am not foolhardy enough to go running into an elven forest and expecting to cut our way through to our endeavor. I do not want to repeat the Mad King's March here.
Well, I don't either, but we don't all
Look,
have the ability to be stealthy, so I don't know. if
Mr.
this would be-
Angus, I get your reasoning. I do. But the point still remains, we're gonna have to make it through that forest somehow. And while I admit, I don't think that we can be stealthy in a forest full of elves, the least I can do is reduce our travel time. And in order to do that, I need to find the deer tracks and tracks made by the animals that will let us get through the thicker parts of this forest. So if you
excuse
let me
me.
do that, I can.
Sorry.
Well, I'll
Well,
tell
I
you
am-
this,
All I am
the more
asking
we
you
argue
to
about it, the
do,
more
Xavier,
likely it is people are going to find us.
All I'm
There-
asking you to do, Xavier, is consider how this looks from their perspective. There is a drought, and now a human has entered their territory and is poking around looking for deer tracks. That looks like a poacher in my eyes. And they will defend
I
their
can give
territory
you-
against us. So we need
I
to
can
make
give you
ourselves
my bow
announced
if
and
you
make it
want.
clear. We are guests here to parley, to request passage through their territory.
So are we intentionally fighting them then?
Not fighting, announcing
No,
ourselves.
no,
We come bearing a
finding.
gift, if we can. I think if we wait here, they will patrol their own land. They will probably recognize us from when we were here before, and hopefully that will buy us a little bit of favor. That we ward off some
If they
cultists
didn't
hiding out in
take
their
issue
territory.
to the
Listen,
cultists
listen.
hiding in their
Guys,
territory,
guys,
I'm
guys,
pretty sure
guys.
they're probably not going to
Xavier,
come
please
to
listen.
us.
This is what I think we should do. Like Angus said, we don't want to be caught sneaking into the forest. They'll take that as an aggressive, and I mean, they might fight us on sight. What I propose is, maybe you and Turani could find us the best way through the forest, all while, just like Angus said, like going through the forest and in a almost announcing ourselves. But if we somehow avoid the elves, that might be. I'll be more comfortable, Angus, if you avoid the elves. I don't think any of us is on their friends list.
I don't think
Yeah,
avoiding
excuse-
them's
I'm
going to be
sorry.
an option, honestly.
Yeah, excuse me, rock and stick and string people. I'm trying to talk to gods to get our travel time quartered, and your blathering is making it very difficult. So if you could just shut up while I perform my all-powerful rituals, that would be very much appreciated. You can go poke around in the bushes, or look for droppings or whatnot. Thank you.
Wow.
And I will.
Mirth
finish
is in a
my
bad mood today.
Who's drop?
I'm gonna finish casting Commune as Mirth kind of settles against a tree stump, and his head clears as he blinks and finds himself standing in a small mist-covered glade. And there's the chirps of birds, and a squirrel runs by. He calls out, Robin, or one of your friends, I have a few questions. I'll be quick.
Can you please place commune in the chat?
I can. I get 3 yes/no questions that I may ask to a deity or divine proxy.
Yes.
Okay, so
You contact your
question:
deity
Does
or-
your thing specifically mention reducing difficult terrain?
No. Just wait for the spell.
You will see.
Yeah, I'm gonna read the spell. Thanks.
You're welcome.
You contact your deity or a divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions that can be answered with a yes or no. So your deity or a divine proxy. So you're calling out to Robin.
Yeah.
You must ask your questions before the spell ends. You receive a correct answer for each question. Divine beings aren't necessarily omniscient, so you might receive unclear as an answer. If a question pertains to information that lies beyond the deity's knowledge, in a case where a one-word answer would be misleading or contrary to the deity's interest, the GM might offer a short phrase as an answer. Okay, I need to check a note real quick.
Ooh, he has a note.
That's
I'm
nice.
just saying, because mechanically wise, what I was essentially
don't-
doing was using Natural
It
Explorer.
is Xavier.
Yes,
Sure,
I understand that.
Watch and learn
Watch and-
from the
Jesus.
big brain casters. Don't worry.
Oh
Got
my
it.
god.
Sarani will be scouting the 300 yards in every direction into the actual forest with him and Bob and Sharp Eye.
Okay.
You mean Mr. Giggles?
Mr. Giggles, I'm sorry. I always say Bob.
Steve.
Mr. Giggles.
Steve.
Steve. Me and Steve.
You and Steve.
You remember Mr. Giggles before you do Steve, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Mr. Giggles is now his canon name.
His given name is Steve. His nickname is Mr. Giggles.
Steve Mr. Giggles Monkey.
I mean, to be fair, I think you said it was like this long, complicated Fey name that
Yeah,
wasn't
it
like
is.
a dead man Steve. So like Bob could just be another way you contract it.
How do you get from Steve to Bob?
It's very
Straight,
long.
it's Fey names. It's crazy.
Mirth. You are you rest yourself against the tree in this cold mist, and you focus yourself on the ritual at hand, calling out the name of Robin in order to commune and receive information from a divine source. And as you do, you hear mirthless laughter.
That's all fun.
And in your mind, you hear a familiar voice say to you,
Oh shit.
"Ask your questions, servant." And in your mind's eye, you find yourself sitting at the feet of this huge winged devil. It does not appear to be the ice devil that you had once seen, though you know in your heart that this is the same being, your patron. But now he is this towering, red-winged, fiendish form.
Oh boy.
You're not supposed to be here. You look toasty.
You look thirsty.
You call out for answers.
Called out for Squirrel Man, not your pussy looking ass. Alright. Got 3 questions anyway. Is Merwin's cabin in the northern half of the forest?
No.
Okay, southern half. Is Merwin's cabin in the western half of the forest?
No.
Southeast. If we search for the cabin, are Coriol elves directly going to oppose us?
That is unclear.
Cheers. See you in hell. We're coming for that. And I'll reach out and try and tap on his chest as the spell sucks me back into reality.
Don't you like measure up to his like big toes? So it'd be like tapping his foot.
Well, he's not that big. 20,
Okay,
25, 20, 25 feet, maybe.
but still, like the size comparison, it'd still be tapping on a leg.
They're large. They're not huge. They're large.
Alright.
All right, Mirth.
Mirth's eyes flash open as he kind of takes a startled breath in on the stump. And he just looks straight at Luna. We go southeast. The elves may fight us, they might not. But I'm assuming they also want the cabin.
Did Robin tell you this?
No.
Let's not worry about that. Let's not worry about who told me what.
Mr. Angus, you said you don't want to antagonize these elves, but my instinct tells me that regardless of if we fight them or not, we're gonna probably come into conflict with them. If what the Queen told Luna was true, and that they were looking for this cabin, then, well, if we're going to find it, regardless of if we want to or not, we're probably going to come into conflict. So, if I'm being honest, I don't think it really matters if we make our way stealthily or loudly. Preferably, I'd like
Here
to
are
do
the
it my
facts
way.
as we know them, Xavier. A contingent of wood elves claiming allegiance to Thalriel attempted to assassinate the Queen. We have been asked to come here to look for Merwin's cabin. That is why we are here. And my solution to this situation is to recognize that not all of the elves who live here can possibly be such extremists, but that marching into their territory as if we have a right to it might just make a few more. This is their home. If we respect that, if we ask for passage, they may grant it, particularly as we have a gift to provide to them. But if you want to go ahead and be every asshole human throughout the history of the Empire, go right ahead. Just don't expect me to have your back.
Oh, I wouldn't worry too much, Angus. I'm pretty good at making friends with people. I think I demonstrated that.
What does Sarani find in his 300-yard excursion?
2 sweet berries and a partridge in a pear tree.
Give me a.
For some reason, a cinnamon roll.
you're just searching the forest. What are you doing?
Yes, while they're all doing this, I'm going to do basically, we're at the edge of the not drought section, right? Basically,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going into the not drought section, 300 yards in an arc into the forest, and searching for tracks, clues, bodies. Just
here's what's happening is that Xavier starts to do exactly what you're saying you're going to do, and Angus stops him.
Mhm.
And you
wander into the forest. Yes.
Xavier kind of points at Serani and is like,
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay,
Look.
okay. If we're doing this, just
look, I'll try to go for a less stealthy approach if that's what you're thinking. Mark, with a 23, could I find a path that's like in between stealthy and loud,
I
but
mean,
will still quicken our travel?
you're looking for paths through the forest. That's not like you can find a path with a 23. Absolutely, you find a path. And Serani,
Right.
Serani, I need a if you're searching the forest for clues, I need an investigation check from you. If you're trying to be quiet about it, I need a stealth roll. If you're just moving through, then don't worry about that.
and Angus is gonna like grasp Xavier and just sort of say like firmly, but like not quite as angry as he's been. All I am asking is that we attempt parley first.
Look,
if it fails,
I'm not
and we
gonna
have to
attack
fight,
them. I have no quarrel with the ills. However, if they attack me first, I'm gonna respond in kind.
and that is how the cycle has perpetuated for hundreds of years. You say you have no quarrel with them, but you aren't thinking about it from their perspective. Please, all I'm asking is that we attempt a parley, even if they exhibit violence. We
Fine,
shouldn't kill
fine.
them unless we absolutely have to. And
We'll
Angus is
try
going
it
to like turn
your
to
way.
Luna and just sort of check in with Luna and go, you can speak Elvish, which means you would probably be our best foot forward in that regard. And just going to like check that you don't still have like the rosette that Queen Evelyn gave you, just that that's tucked out of sight, because obviously we don't want that on display if they are aligned with the Thalriel elves.
Yeah, if they see us
Alright.
as invaders, then they're probably going to shoot us first. But if we let them shoot us first and then say, wait, and then hold our hands up, then they might stop shooting at us. But we're probably going to get a couple arrows at us.
This is not coming with much comfort from someone that can catch arrows, by the way. I will be behind that
Alright.
tree when we are shot at.
Then
I appreciate it.
Xavier kind of looks at the forest and then goes, "Alright, this is the easiest path. That's the stealthiest one. That's the loudest. You said you want to go in with no violent intentions. I say we take that one."
Then let's get a move on. We shouldn't waste more time.
Should I play my drums while we go? Just to make it clear that we're not trying to sneak around?
Serani, as you and Steve advance into the forest, searching in a 300-yard arc for anything untoward, any bodies, clues, tracks of any kind. You come across an arrow that lands about 5 feet in front of you in the ground.
Is there anything on it?
Nope. It simply has come out of the tree somewhere above you and landed right in your line of sight, exactly where you were looking.
Okay. Serani stops, turns towards the. I'm assuming it came in one direction, so I'm going to go back.
Wait,
I'm going to look
is
the way. Look,
Serani and the rest of the group going in 2 different directions?
He's just up ahead.
No, he's doing like
Okay.
Yeah, he's
so,
a scouting.
so the arrow is stuck in the ground. Whichever way the ass end of the arrow is pointing, I'm going to look in that direction and go. I come as a friend and extend my hands, and I say this in both common, primordial, and druidic.
Mark, just to be clear, so we don't know that Sorani saw that? Or do we know?
Well, everybody
Sure.
was talking with Xavier.
Okay,
And
okay.
Mirth was performing a spell, and Sarani said he was doing a sweep 300 yards up ahead of everyone.
Okay, that is fine.
So-
Yeah, that's
That's what I
Okay.
have going on.
Mm-hmm.
Based on
Right.
what
So
I was-
I'm assuming.
based on what everybody was saying. Like, Sarani wasn't looking for a path. He was just sweeping the forest ahead of everybody,
Like he always does.
like he always does.
That is fine.
You calling in the direction that the arrow, the trajectory that you can assume the arrow came from by your, based on the way that it was positioned in the ground. You call up. You call up your greeting. And receive back a call in Elvish. You see a single elf, bow drawn, up in the trees. The bow towards you. After calling down in Elvish and Common, he says, "We've had too many visitors, friend."
Oh boy.
For that, I apologize. My friends and I are here searching for a way to end the evil that assaults our lands. We just wish safe passage to said place, and will not bother you or your kin.
Which evil is that?
I list off the names of all the demon lords that I know of. Starting with Wagira. Actually, Sorani would say, Wagira, Queen of Decay. She haunts my lands. She poisons my people. She intends to do the same with all the land. There are others of her kind as well, demon lords who seek to ruin this land.
How many of you are there? By this point, the party would probably have started catching up to Sarani.
Right,
There are
using
7,
the
counting
path.
myself, but not counting our. And I tap. I gently reach over and tap Steve on the head, not counting our animal friends. There are 7 of us.
Assuming we see Tsurani in that state, we're probably gonna be alerted. Like, this is
Would
it.
me and Luna be able to see the elf with a high passive perception, or at least
Oh, yeah.
like the glint of metal?
Yeah, he's not making himself hidden. He has made himself known on purpose.
Right. I'd kind of stick out my hand and to slow everyone down and like kind of looking over at Angus, stick my hands up as we approach.
Seeing Tsurani alone in front, she'll pull up her hands, but she'll walk towards him. She won't, stay back.
I can hear them coming, right?
Oh yeah, they're not being
Yeah.
quiet.
Yes. It seems my friend's approach as well. We mean no disrespect in your land.
Well, you've been honest about the numbers. Does this thing represent all of you?
Yeah, sure. Unless he says something rude, in which case, no.
I think the best person to talk to would probably be any kind of gestures with his fingers as he points to Luna. She seems to be the leader of the group, as far as I'm aware.
You do not need to hold up your hands, Forrester. I can shoot you just as easily with this bow, whether your arms are up or down.
And slowly lowers his arms and crosses them.
I had intended it more as a demonstration that I bear no will of violence towards you. But it is reassuring to know that you are doing such an effective job defending your home. We do not
Normally,
mean
this
harm.
is supposed to mean that we're unarmed, but I guess in my case, it doesn't really mean anything.
Or, like, we don't. This is like universal
Guys,
for I surrender.
this is, she's like, quiet. This is serious.
You gotta joke around a little bit, otherwise things get too tense and then people start shooting each other.
She
Yeah.
she stands next to Turani and in Elvish calls out to the elf. Greetings.
Hello, half-human.
Oh.
I knew it would be a point against, not a point in favor. I knew it.
Shirani's not half anything. I'm all swamp.
Sarani is a quarter everything.
Shirani's all swamp.
There goes your... She whispers, there goes your plan, Angus.
They haven't started shooting us yet, to be fair. Mirth will also call out in Elvish. Hello. Sorry about them. We're trying to find something and don't intend to be of any obstacle. If you greet me as demon, please don't.
And DM, by the way, how many elves do I see? Only this one?
Only this one.
Could I make a pointed look into the forest to see if there are any more?
Give me.
I just assume there's more.
Give me a perception
probably.
roll.
It's like in Lord of the Rings. There's like 8 just hiding in bushes.
So loud.
The elf looks down at you and says, "It would be rather fiendish of me to call you anything other than half-human."
Hunting us now, go down.
Of
Okay.
course, I find that far worse than anything infernal.
Ah. Alright. Look,
So we
look, knife ears. Look. We're on a
Knife
rather
ears. I
on a
like
rather
it.
tight schedule here. Yeah.
I like
It
it.
suits you. It suits you. You're
are
very
they still talking in Elvish?
Yeah, I'm assuming that I don't understand what's going on. I'm just sitting here like, so far,
Yeah.
no arrows.
Look, we're on a very tight schedule here, and we really don't want to be of any harassment to you or the other way around. It would result badly for both sides. The forest is nice, the trees are beautiful, the flowers grow well. We really need to be on our way to stop the drought from getting any further. That's one of our main concerns right now. My friend back there without the shirt, he's from one of the regions that's been devastated by it, and we're really trying to just get to the bottom of it. I've talked to my deity of sorts, and the way to solving it, at least one of the ways to solving it, appears to lie somewhere within your forest. We have gifts if any encouragement is needed on our part.
Yeah, whatever he said.
In common, the elf will say, "Your passage through Coriol Forest must be determined not by me. I am a simple warden of these lands. I beckon you, return to me to my what you would call an elf home of Shadebrush.
Okay.
Okay. Do they have an address?
Just follow. And he jumps down lithely from the tree, landing before all of you. Understand, of course, that there are arrows trained upon you at all times, and should you do anything untoward in the meantime, you will become...
Pincushions?
yes. Holier than you are now.
No, I don't think here, but I appreciate
Nice
the
pun.
pun. We're already on a good start, after all, since she seemed to at least have the ability to joke around.
Lead the way.
I do so
Oh.
like to toy with my food.
You're gonna eat us.
He just smirks in your direction, Mirth.
Ew.
I think that was a metaphor. I'm pretty sure they're all vegetarian. Oh, and then Angus has this moment of like reflection, like maybe that's a really human-centric stereotype.
You're not vegetarian. Thank
When
you.
I hear that, I'm just gonna glance over at Sarani and be like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry."
I think he really likes you. Are you, like, interested, or...
Wait,
Luna calls out to the elf in Elvish. Lead the way, elf.
He nods.
Can we get, like, names, like, calling people human, half-human, elf, not... It's a little impersonal.
Surely. Names can be exchanged.
I am Sarani.
Vasir.
And I'm Angus.
Today, at least.
Mirth. Also, if you don't mind, I will be quietly waving my hands. I swear it's not anything harmful. It's just a spell to aid me and my friends. It won't do anything. I'll be quietly doing that in the corner as we walk.
He nods and introduces himself, saying, "Well met, trespassers."
Trespassers soon to be guests. You invited us now. That means we're guests now.
You'd make a great vampire.
My...
Would I?
My name is Lulinar Kinsendorial.
Can I shorten that?
Can we call you Lulu? That's a mouthful.
Your friends have no respect for the elven tongue.
I asked.
Our tongues have no respect for the elven tongue. It's a long and winding name. No offense.
Lulinar. 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 Lulinar.
I will just simply call you Master Warden.
Oh, that's a good one. We can do that.
We butchered.
I've actually Lulinar is starting to become a little bit more friendly to my face right now. I'm enjoying Lulinar. I'm gonna say Lulinar a lot.
Would Warden be condensorial sufficiently respectful? It is a custom among my people that when somebody has a title, that you address them by it.
Warden is fine. I am no master.
Warden Lulinar. Gotcha.
DM, she never replies to, she doesn't give her name. Just saying.
I will be ritual casting telepathic bond while we're walking
Okay.
on all members of the party.
I am going to be continuing to survey our surroundings as we walk. Please let me know if we come across any dead animals.
I will.
Could I do the same from a much shorter distance?
Yes.
Since I can't get as far as Saran.
Every now and then, Serrani stops, and you're like, "Where the fuck did he go?" And then you see the tree get up and walk away for a minute. I'm just trying to keep the elves on their toes. It's like, he was just son of a bitch.
Speaking of keeping the elves on their toes, Vasir gets bored very quickly just walking, so he's gonna just start like walking up trees and shit.
So, tell me, trespassers, what brings you into the forest?
We are seeking, as he jumps down, Merwin's cabin. Do you know it?
You see Xavier kind of go like,
Double face farm.
Let's hear.
The
Wait, was that supposed to be a secret?
yes, Vasir, it was.
She pictured him so bad.
Angus is going to try to like filibuster over the top of that and redirect on the point and go, we
My
are
bad.
adventurers by trade. We have traveled quite extensively, and one of our most recent travels, we had a rather nasty encounter with an aboleth in the city of Twilight Hill. And while we were down there, among some of the things that this horrible abomination had taken from worthy travelers was an artifact belonging to an elven hero. And we were hoping that we could return it to your people, that it should belong with them.
So you are not seeking the fabled cabin of the human wizard.
My friend is exuberant, and we definitely are. I was hoping we could bring that up with you during negotiations at our parley, but I will not deny that that is part of the reason that we are here.
DM, if I can just ask, how was the officer's reaction to what Vasir said, mentioning Merwin? Like, was he,
Give me
Was
an
it-
insight-
was
give me
this-
an insight
was it-
check.
Was his face your face? Because that's what I got. He's like, stupid people looking for that dumbass human thing. If it was here, I would know about it.
Well, at least at this point, they don't think that we're holding any secrets, so there you go.
The reaction would be the same reaction as like someone as like if you went to Paris and asked someone which way to the Eiffel Tower, like they're like, great, more tourists, like, great, more Americans, like that's the response that he had in his
Means
like
they've already found it.
impression.
Mirth will chime in telepathically. We can talk like this now with Sharphead as well, so they don't have to listen to us.
I'll
Is-
respond. This is cool.
Badass.
Very.
Is this with everyone or just?
No, everyone
Everyone.
except the elves.
Everyone but the elf.
It's like a web.
Mm,
It's like a web of telepathy.
I don't know how I feel about having other people in my head, but I guess this will be useful.
Oh, you don't know how you feel about having other people in your head.
Hey everyone, I'm Vasir. I'm in your heads. Screwing it up.
Sharphead goes, you all understand me.
Yeah, weirdly.
Who has food?
I have, you hear out loud. You hear out loud again. I have food. 3 nice fish heads.
So we've been in silence for a little bit, just kind of looking at each other for a little bit. Then all of a sudden, Serrani's just like, "I have food."
The elf just turns to Serrani and says, that's nice. Is this something that plants declare all the time?
No, I think that my friend Serrani here is still a little bit hung up on that. Are you pescatarian? Is that how it works?
No. We
He's
as
Episcopalian.
elves
Did you ask if he was Episcopalian?
No,
Is that what-
pescatarian, as in like
Pescatarian, god dang it.
At this point, I kind of wordlessly like go next to Sharpeye and hand him like the small clay jar of leftover rabbit stew that I made from the journey.
Oh, excellent. He will take the top off and kind of toss it and just upend the jar of rabbit stew right down his gullet, just kind of spilling it down his face and chest as he does.
I
We
was
can't
really
spoil
hoping-
Sharp Eye, otherwise we'll start getting fat.
I was really hoping for Luna to have like the mom on the road trip moment, just pull out like 2 bags of pretzels from her bag and just give it to him.
Luna just has a Ziploc bag of pretzels and a juice box that she hands over.
Over the mind link, Xavier says,
Team
"I
bag.
need to get rid of it anyway."
I'm hoping you weren't planning for this being a serious encounter.
I have no control over these things with this party. Every time you guys start heading in an actual direction, somebody starts talking.
Luna's,
Hey,
Luna's only
I-
learning how to use a battle axe to make her apple slices better.
I have food.
I have totally been nearly silent.
I've just been trying to be helpful.
I offered somebody some food.
She
Okay,
telepathically
but
tells
you think there's,
everyone.
like-
"Don't-"
There's some
Yeah.
alternate reality where when we like first saw Warriga and it broke our minds and we all just became mute and we've already defeated Warriga by now.
This-
6 levels. Go.
What happened is you guys saw Warriga and it broke all your minds, and everything that has happened since is
Was a lie.
what's going on inside your heads. None of this is real.
Jacob's ladder.
All of them just like sitting in Dre and Asylum.
I can fly.
You're all just laying in that cesspool of decomposing filth, like
Fermenting.
having hallucinations. You're gonna
Although
wake up from a
we all
dream at
failed the
20th
track in the
level.
melding. We've never left the
Character
melding.
development.
This is all just
Yeah, they're all still in the spore meld from the first night.
Okay.
Let's continue forward.
That's,
Let's
that,
continue. Let's continue.
Luna telepathically tells everyone that we should probably
shut up.
keep it.
Luna's quietly going, "Don't make me turn this adventure around."
All right. Let's rein it in.
Come on, David, say it. You know you want to say it. You've got that look in your face. I know you want to say it.
Don't you dare make me stop the epic wizard quest. Alright.
Let's move forward.
Life goals. Life
We
goals.
don't have spare
Drink
time.
Nord.
Moving forward, we don't have spare
We don't have a whole
time.
lot of time to screw around anymore, guys.
Alright, yeah, good,
Yeah.
good.
You
Let's go.
guys, you all continue through the forest, following the warden, who, once you all begin to converse telepathically and quiet down, he stops really engaging in any kind of conversation. Xavier, you know for a fact that no matter how well you search this forest, the portion of the path that he veers down, not the initial walk that you take, but after the first leg of the journey, there's a path he turns down that you're not sure you would have ever found unless you knew exactly where it is. After a good hour of traversing this hidden pathway, you come into a part of the forest that is just tall, thick, old trees, ancient trees. And up amongst them, all around you, in every direction, beautifully constructed buildings, built into the trees, built from within hollowed out trees. High up amongst them, there are walkways and paths from tree to tree. It is a spiring city built in tune with the forest around you. In the center of it is a stream that flows in a loop. The center of that loop is a surrounded plateau on which is built a temple to Nadara. A white tree with the leaves and branches of this tree transforming from one portion in spring all the way to the dead of winter in a single tree, grows up out of the center of this temple. You are in an elf home. The elf home of Shadebrush.
Xavier
Right.
kind of reaches into his pack and pulls out a holy symbol that you've never seen him have before. Like, never seen him shown before. It is like a symbol of Nadara. He kind of rubs it a bit. Well, finally get to see one of these, huh? Never thought I'd see the day.
Sarani,
And then he puts it back in his pack.
Sarani heads straight for the tree.
The elven warden will hold out a hand in front of you as you start moving towards that tree. I'm sorry, friend trespasser. Let us settle situations first before you go wandering through my village. Otherwise,
I just wish to see the tree.
the
I
time
feel
will come for that. But
it is a part of the great. It's a great balance.
it is indeed. That's not wrong.
How many elves do we see?
I mean, it's a city of elves.
No, I mean with elves watching us.
Oh, when you enter into the city, like, whole groups of them turn to look at all of you. You will follow me, please. And he leads you up a ramp that winds around a huge tree and up towards several buildings built into the canopies.
Sarani just keeps his eye on the tree while not falling off.
You've seen this in your books, Mirth? Have you read about this?
I mean,
Hey, Mirth, can you play Careless Whisper for Sarani? So he's just gazing longingly at this tree.
I've heard stories, drawings, and something like this, but nothing really replicates it.
Elf homes are quite mysterious. I've always wanted to visit one, but, well, you know, being a human and all that isn't the best of dreams to have, if you get my meaning.
You say you know a lot, but I don't know a whole lot. So
No, it's a turn of phrase, you see. How I speak. I don't actually mean you know. It's... How do I explain this?
seems
Come
weird.
on. Let's move on.
You are taken into a like a hall that is built inside of the hollowed out core of this tree. The ceiling is high and very high. The floors are polished to a shine, and there is a single high-backed chair at the far end of this room.
Man, fireplaces must be a real pain in the butt to set up around here.
I think they have other means of heating the place other than fire, considering, you know, most of the homes being made out of wood and all.
The
Yeah, I think that was his point.
I know.
oh god, somebody killed the bots in chat, please.
Not that.
The
I wasn't
think-
watching. Sorry.
I think we shouldn't mention Merwin moving forward until they ask us about it, and don't mention the queen.
the warden says, "Remain here, please,"
Okay.
and exits the room out of a different doorway.
I'm assuming this hall is, like, elegantly decorated with carvings and elf stuff, right?
Correct.
Could I, like, study it? Because this is one of his hobbies, to study, you know...
Yeah. You're just taking it in.
Yeah, like, going over to one of the pillars and kind of like... Huh. This was really cool.
Luna goes towards Vasir and Angus. Hopefully this will go well.
Oh, it will. Don't worry about it. When has negotiations not gone well for us? So far.
Nearly,
Even
near,
Xavier not knowing your history feels incredulous about that comment.
nearly every time we allow you to speak, Vasir.
That is not true whatsoever. I endeared us amazingly to the queen.
That's why she chose Luna, not you.
As you're having this conversation,
Okay, so just so that we have an encapsulation of what's just happened, Luna has telepathically relayed to the group, do not mention the queen under any circumstance.
and as you're having this conversation,
Nice.
Mentally.
Nice one.
is all
Nice
of this
one, Rick.
telepathic?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay.
Thanks, Murph.
You're welcome.
Wizened elf enters the room, draped in robes. His hair is silver. His skin is wrinkled and weathered, tanned from years of what you can assume is woodland work. And he is followed by Lulinar into the room.
Hello. You look very important.
Vasir!
What? I'm just saying hi.
At this point, I think Xavier has gotten a good judge of Vasir's character. Kind of walks over and pats him on the shoulder and says, "Hey, buddy, how about you come admire these stoneworks with me? You know, away from, just away." And kind of leads him away from the group.
Okay, but I don't really know a whole lot about stoneworking.
Their leader is approaching. Both of you stay here And be quiet. Just a moment.
Over the telepathic link, I say, I'm trying to get him out of the way so he doesn't ruin this.
I
Over the
said,
telepathic link, I respond, you understand that I can also hear you through this microphone.
Yes, I understand that. And that's
Well,
why I'm saying
in that
over
case,
the
you could have
telepathic
just
link.
said telepathically that you want me to go somewhere else with you. But either way, I get Luna's point.
The seer sits down.
Can Angus
in
just
the
like
chair.
telepathically give a barrage to the group of Luna gave an order, we follow it. And it's gonna like pointedly sit with his head bowed as Luna has sort of instructed and wait for this important elf to introduce himself.
The seer sits down in the chair in the room and is speaking in Elvish quietly with Luminar. He turns to all of you. Trespassers, may I present our seer. Seer, these are the trespassers. They come, they say, to present us with gifts from a lost elvish hero of ours. And yet they also mentioned that they seek the cabin of Merwin.
fuck.
Much as some of our other frequent visitors have sought. The seer says, "Is there one among you who is your leader?"
Luna takes a step forward.
Elvish blood runs in you.
Like, takes a quick bow.
These trespassers do not wholly lack wisdom. You seem very perceptive, girl.
She says that thank you in Elvish. And she says, we do bring gifts with us. As you are seeking Merwin's cabin, just like my friend had mentioned earlier.
To what end do you seek this place?
We are looking for weapons, for artifacts, anything that can help us kill the demons that have taken Orden as their home.
I fear that you are on a fool's errand.
Why?
This cabin you seek, it is old and overgrown. It holds no secrets.
Then there's no harm for us to see it.
Of course not. You speak of demon lords.
I do. Have you not seen the drought on the edge of your forest?
We have. And I have had such visions as to the presence of these creatures in our lands.
Then yes.
Go ahead.
No, that's it.
You seek to fight them.
We do.
This too is a fool's errand.
We know that. But those demon lords are threatening our homes. My friend's home and people have been poisoned by these demons. So we have no choice. That is our mission. And she points at Sorani.
What is this being that is your friend, as you call it?
I am Sarani.
He's a creature from the swamp, from the Oh. What's the name of the swamp?
No, not the swamp. Not technically.
From, yeah. He's a creature from underneath Maris swamplands. Right? Most of his people were poisoned by a demon lord. So he set out to save them. And that is our mission. As foolish as it may be.
Our home has been a place of peace and solitude for many years now. And yet in the past months, there have been many who have entered this forest we do not know, who have no treaties with us. They breach our borders. They travel with stealth, and some with malice. You come with respect on a quest to restore your friends' lands. You come with good intent, it would seem, even if on a fool's errand. You may present your gifts.
She turns around and signals Angus to approach with and present the sword. And she'll take out her shield. And she'll walk towards the seer to present him with her shield, at least. Angus, I'll leave that part to you.
Yeah, so Angus is gonna turn to Mirth, ask if he can open the haversack so we can get the rapier out of it. and then is going to like very pointedly and deliberately make sure that he's holding the like sword balanced by the blade like across the tips of his fingers in such a way that he obviously can't use it in any way as a weapon, and like approach deferentially behind Luna once again, head bowed, and like go down onto one knee before the seer and like lift the blade up to present it to him once again, just like head bowed, adopting all the ceremony and posture of a noble court with like actual deference in a way that's really unusual.
Hmm.
The seer nods to Lulinar, who steps forward and takes the blade and the shield and brings them to the seer. These have been lost for ages. Then it is true that you felled the creature of legend.
We have. My friends and I fought valiantly. And it was an extremely difficult fight. But in the end, we were able to defeat it.
And now you offer to return these things to their rightful people.
She nods. We do.
Have you made use of this shield?
I have. And I assume he can see Luna that she has no more. She doesn't have another shield on her.
Yeah. What is your name, girl?
They call me Luna.
We will allow you passage through our lands. As a sign of this agreement, we will keep the sword, and you will keep the shield. And Lulinar presents the shield back to you.
She takes like just a little bit longer bow, and she thanks the seer.
Serani steps forward and says, I too have a gift. It is for the one who tends the tree.
Then you may present that to the priestess yourself.
Serani takes a step back. Serani doesn't bow or anything. He just steps forward, makes his statement, steps backwards again.
And Luna tells the rest of the group telepathically that they will grant us passage.
Xavier kind of telepathically responds, "We know. We were there."
He's speaking in Elvish.
That was all in
I was
Elvish.
operating on the assumption they were communicating in Elvish.
Yes.
Oh.
So we don't actually know what's been said. We're just again. That's why I had Angus sort of act in that way, where like made the gesture, and it's like, oh right, okay, time for the gift, but not actually like.
Right. I don't know why I thought it'd be in common. Never mind.
Like I said, because you're playing it like a human. You're assuming everybody speaks common.
The
Shush you.
seer says, until such a time that this shield is of no great use to you, you may present it as a sign of good faith that you are allowed passage through Coriel Forest, and I will allow word to be spread to the wardens, not to harass you. But I have a request for you and yours. There are dark things that have come into the forest, brought here by what we believed were brethren. Brethren who come, we are told. Who announced themselves as emissaries of Thauriel, also looking for the cabin of Merwin. We believe our brethren have been tainted by something, for they desire to bring war and death.
Were they granted passage? She almost cuts him off.
Before we knew what they would wrought, yes. We had no reason to stop our brethren from traveling through our lands. But now, they do not travel alone. They have summoned dark beings to do their bidding.
Then we must make haste.
My people are not moved to act against their own. But I fear the worst. There are already young elves who are rallying to their cries of genocide. They cannot
And that-
remain in our lands.
Then that is why we must make haste. Our mission is clear. But we are not sure where this cabin is.
To the
So if you can-
southeast.
Exactly.
Xavier communicates to Luna. Ask if it's hidden by magic. I could probably find it with a bit of difficulty, but if it's hidden by magic, I won't be able to.
Can your people take us to that cabin? Is it hidden?
It is hidden. Many come seeking it. None find it. But we know where it is.
Will you take us to it?
I will have Lilwyn take you. But I warn you that we offered the same passage and the same travel to our brethren, and they have been there for weeks already.
I understand.
as this conversation is happening, there's a sound of like running footfalls on the ramp outside of this room. And an elf kind of turns quickly through the doorway into the room, wide-eyed for a moment.
Serrani turns instinctively at the footfalls coming through the door.
In Elvish, the person looks around and then says, "Seer, I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt, but a group of young wardens has just departed the village, declaring themselves for Thariel."
Well, that can't be good. Miss Luna, I suggest we hurry.
Again,
Maybe
that
we
was
can
in-
head them off.
It was again in Elvish.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
I did.
Literally said in Elvish before he said it.
Right.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting my character sheet used to have
Will,
Elvish as language proficiency, but then I realized that wouldn't make sense, so I changed it.
Mark, if you want, we'll assume that while this conversation is happening, Luna is just telling the party telepathically what's happening, maybe?
Mhm.
If it works.
Sure, if you want to do that, that's fine. You can tell everyone telepathically.
Right. Well, if she's like telepathically translating everyone, then Xavier would say, "Well, that's not good. Miss Luna, I suggest we leave now. Maybe we can head them off." I don't know about you, but it doesn't sound good.
Is that our business, though?
I mean, we're
Should
going to
probably-
the cabin anyway, and no doubt those Thariel elves are going to attack us if they're after what we're after. So
We shouldn't
I'd
waste our
rather
time.
not.
We shouldn't waste our time looking for elves. If they can take us to the cabin, then we head over there. They already have a few weeks lead on us,
Fair point.
so we don't have much time.
It sounds like a matter for the seer. An elder of their village, respected. He can try to reason with them, but Xavier, much as you might mean well, there is nothing you, I, or Visir could possibly say to them that they won't throw back in our faces. If
Trust
they
me, I've
are
already tried.
declaring themselves for Thariel, it means as far as they're concerned, we are just human scum.
I look to Luna and ask, Miss Luna, you're speaking their language, right? Can you ask this elf if he can give us the description of these elves? I would rather not harm them if maybe we, I don't know. They're from this village. I'd rather not harm those from this village. Knock them out, maybe, but
Okay, can I just, out of character for a second? I think you're misunderstanding the situation here. A group of elves from Thariel came to Coriel and requested to go to the cabin. That's one group.
Right.
A group within the village of Coriel,
I thought
in
those were
Shadebrush,
heading
where we're at,
towards
they
the...
have declared themselves for Thariel. They are leaving the elf home to go to the ancient forest, or to go out and perform terrorist acts out in the world. They're not going to the cabin, they're leaving the forest.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Thanks for clearing that up. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I thought by leaving they meant for where the encampment of Thariel elves are.
No, just freshly converted zealots.
Right. Okay.
It is a moment for you guys to be aware of the changing power structures within the world, right?
Right. So, I suggest we hurry towards that cabin then?
Yeah.
Anyone else find it a little suspicious that the wizard drops his all-powerful house of magical artifacts in the middle of a wood? Everyone knows where it's at, and they've been at it for weeks, and nothing's come up yet. Doesn't that
No,
seem-
it's an all-powerful wizard, so there's probably a lot of wards and stuff, and illusions, and a whole bunch of other
Still,
stuff probably in the way.
Couple weeks, I can take down a few spells every day.
Luna had been translating the conversation, and the seer did say that that going there to find weapons was a fool's errand. That there's nothing there to find.
Yeah, and they've been here for years. I also speak Elvish, by the way.
Weeks.
So
Oh yes.
no,
Maybe.
these
Coriol
elves
elves
have been here for years and years and years. This is their forest, so they know this is there, and they know where it is, and they know there's nothing in it. So
Why
you
would
give-
the queen send
This is-
us towards
The queen
this
doesn't know.
thing?
The queen doesn't know jack shit, as far as we know. She knows
Yeah.
that there might be a cabin, and it might be somewhere near, and it might have cool stuff. The elves know exactly where it is, and have concluded to us after granting us safe travel, after we exchange gifts with them, that there's nothing in it.
I
Oh,
don't.
no, they said there's no
I-
weapons in it.
Well, yeah, but we're looking
that doesn't
for
mean
weapons,
there's
for
nothing
something
hidden.
enabling us.
Maybe
Yeah, if you give a bunch of like super powerful elven wizards and a guy this wise like a couple centuries, they're gonna there's not much to hide under a cabin other than demi-planes, and then in that case nobody's getting to it.
We should still look
This-
at any rate, just
this
in
is what
case.
This is what I assume. A powerful wizard maybe hid his artifacts in this cabin that is, I think, protected by these elves. So maybe the other elves don't have access yet to this cabin. They don't have.
I
No,
guess it's
but
just kind of
the
like
way-
relay
Is-
telepathically. We made a promise to, and then like telepathically catch himself, our mutual friend, that we would visit the location that she has requested and report back. I feel that we should do that. Even if there's nothing there, we can make that confirmation to her.
Can
What if we lose several days of time, and in that time, let's say another demon lord pops up?
hold,
This is the only lead. This is the only lead, and the closest lead we have right now.
Here, we're looking
Phil-
for a very powerful wizard's stuff. I don't think we're going to find it by trekking around in the forest and hoping to uncover something that the elves have had for centuries. How about I ask Merwin?
What?
We still need to go
What do you-
there.
What
Let's
do you-
check out the cabin
Wait.
first, and if we find nothing,
Hold
then
on,
you can
Xavier.
talk.
Hold on, Xavier. You can just like actually just contact Merwin right now and just ask him.
Takes a deep breath. I can try.
I mean,
Um,
why didn't
can-
we do that in the first place?
It's rather tedious is a good word for it. It's like you standing on the edge of a beam over a cliff and trying to fish.
I think I can do that pretty easily.
can,
It's like you
Excuse-
standing on
Wow.
a beam over a cliff with one leg blindfolded on a windy day trying to fish.
He can still do that.
Yeah,
Sure,
you
we
can
still
still
do
do
that.
that.
excuse me.
Okay, but there's no pond. And there's no
Excuse
fish.
excuse me. Can we ask the elves if they have anything on our list while we're here?
Well, that's a decent idea. I mean, they
Just-
might.
Just saying they might have something.
Hmm,
Do we have a list? Like,
we do.
Yes,
have
we have an actual shopping list.
We know where the silk is. We know where the orb is. I don't think they'd have dragon forged iron.
If nothing
that's
else, it might
probably
help.
Yeah.
dwarves.
Sirani wanted to speak to the keeper of that grove. They may be able to tell us where we would be able to obtain an angel feather aligned to Nadara.
Yeah, something.
Smart.
I mean, we can ask. The seer is obviously the seer is obviously in charge. He's very old and very wise. Maybe he has an idea where we might find something that we don't know where it's at.
DM,
Yes.
can I ask the seer again if he knows anything about the cabin and insight check him, because I forgot to do that?
Yeah. Go ahead. You ask him if what else he knows about the cabin.
You keep doing insight checks. We're moving you to Monday.
Okay.
The seer
Actual ask-
says, Merwin retired to this forest. After he felt the Empire no longer needed him. It was a place of tranquility for him, secluded, away from the eyes of the world. It was a quiet retirement home. Not some trophy case filled with powerful magics, as you would seek.
It's not. It could be just a vault or somewhere to hide these weapons, so that
You don't put a vault under your retirement home,
Yeah.
especially
Maybe
not
a portal?
especially not with things that could blow it out of the water.
Like, the only thing I could think
23
he could put
insight.
there is a portal.
23 insight.
this is my second roll above 10.
He's
Is that like this session or across the entire campaign?
Across all of my games. No, I'm kidding.
He knows more than he's saying.
See.
Can I make some sort of either like Arcana or history to know like any of the last rumors about Merwin, his various, we know about Mythfont now. Do I know anything about any other sites that I could have dug up within the last half a week of research?
Yeah, you can make a history check.
Alright, I'm gonna cast guidance for a spark of inspiration. So add 1 to the total. 33.
That. That's like 1 off a natural 20. And you still got the result of a natural 20 anyway.
You know that you've discovered in your studies that in the last years before leaving the Empire, Merwin spent a lot of time traveling Oregon. Kind of making the rounds within the free cities. That he kind of just disappeared before the fall of the Empire, before the last Emperor died, when things were kind of at peace.
Okay.
And he made stops in all of the major cities, including Ironstone Hall, Ravenreach, Grovair, Geneva, Drayen. He was working on something. Very likely Mythfont itself.
I'll telepathically tell you guys that he's hiding something. He's not being honest with us. Or completely honest with us.
Wow.
I
Even
think-
more reason to go to that cabin.
That's why he's hiding is that they already have whatever was in the cabin on them.
That's true.
I don't... She asks the seer if his people can take us to that cabin.
Oh yeah, he already said that he was gonna send.
Yeah. No, I
No,
mean,
but like,
right now,
Yes,
immediately.
he nods to Warden Lulinar and says, "Take them."
And telepathically ask Mer, are you still gonna try to contact Merwin?
At this point, it's our best bet. I don't think blundering around is anyone's best option at this point.
Tell us what you need, and we'll make it happen.
If I understand from when you've used this spell before, it helps if you have as much information as possible, right? So maybe it would be better to cast it once we get to the cabin. If there's something you can determine there that will help you get the solution that other people have overlooked.
We can do that. If not, everybody prepare questions that we want to know, things we need to know.
And do we have time to stop by the grove? Sarani did want to speak to
The priestess, or
I'm not sure if that's... Did they
By
use
the way,
that?
Mark, how big is this forest? Just wondering.
Corio Forest.
Mm.
It is.
Like
Something
300 miles across, 100,
Yeah.
200 up.
As
As far as I can judge by the thing at the bottom.
right. Yeah.
About that. That's 19, and it's about 15 at the widest point, so like a good 275 across. It's a pretty big forest, but we know the cabin's in the southeast.
Mhm.
Well, I just wanted to know because I was gonna use primeval awareness to try and sense the demons.
Oh yes,
apparently
we all know how powerful that feature is.
You can.
I got the fixed version. It's 5 miles. You know.
So you
Yes,
wanna,
I know.
You want to see if you can sense any demons within 5 miles?
Once we get closer to the cabin.
Okay.
You know, it's better than commune with nature, which is 3 miles.
I sort of love the distinction that you're clarifying the version that casts a wider net is somehow better when the thing that you're looking for is trying to track them down, and all that feature does is go, yep, they exist.
No, it actually
It doesn't track you to them.
No, it does. It does.
Oh, I think the
fixed
revised version does.
The revised
Yeah.
version
Does.
does. Does it?
It tells you, I think, how many
I
and the
can spread-
direction.
I can spread my awareness in a 5-mile radius, get the highest CR, how many, and their location. Sorry, no, the location of the highest
tricky.
CR of that favored enemy.
Alright. Yeah, we have time, I guess, if he wants to stop by. If it's nothing that'll take too long, I can get Honesty running in the meantime.
Okay.
Alright.
I suppose I'll thank the seer, and we'll excuse ourselves, and inform him that we'll be meeting with the priest, and we'll be ready to leave after that. And telepathically say, did I miss anything?
He says, please, if you can rid us of what has come here. We would be eternally grateful.
We will do our best. And while taking this small bow, she'll tell him that even though you haven't been completely honest with us,
He raises an eyebrow. You are perceptive, as I had said. I tell you what I can.
I understand.
You head down to the grove below.
As we're heading to the grove, Xavier kind of takes the symbol he brought out earlier and clips it to his belt. Just subtly, while going to the grove.
While exiting that hall, Luna will just tell the seer, whispering to him, that she's sorry she lashed out at him a few moments ago, She didn't mean any harm.
I mean, I'm not worried about it. Never have to apologize to me. I know you mean well.
Well, Sarani can't visit the Grove if Sarani's not present at the table, so you all head down. Mirth, you get honesty.
Right, yes, if we have time, I'd also like to get another ritual off.
Yes, we have time.
Great. I'm going to cast Divination. I'll throw it up for you, yes, sir. Specific goal, blah, 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 in the next 7 days. Truth will apply.
You need incense and a sacrificial offering appropriate to your religion.
I have that.
What are you
Or,
sacrificing?
well, religion. I mean, I have incense. I bought incense for both Find Familiar and this spell.
Okay.
And as for a sacrificial religion,
You need a sacrificial offering.
I think here's the question: which of your many
Yeah.
gods are you making the sacrifice to?
Just don't say Tantra.
I will tell you that Kerr cast this spell on Saturday and sacrificed a chipmunk to the many voiced god. So
What's a chipmunk?
What is a chipmunk?
Oh,
Like
a
a little
chipmunk. I don't know why,
Jason.
but
Jason.
my mind was like chip
Over here.
monk,
Over here.
but didn't put the two words together. So I thought it was some kind of
What a
weird.
bizarre thing to not understand.
hey, Luna, can you come over here for a second? Mirth is kind of like pushing a bowl around in the dust and mumbling something, and he like looks up confused. Luna,
Yeah. What is it?
what does Thandra like?
Dead bodies. She likes puppers. See? Everybody loves a pupper.
She's how you'd imagine her to be. She's trying to avoid that to answer.
She likes death, right? Can I give her like a piece
Angus
of meat?
is like sat nearby, has the book of cantrips that Mirth has gifted him, and has the page open to dancing lights, and is once again just gently, quietly, like whispering the words. Still not having much success at getting like even multiple lights. Is still only getting the one, and it's not particularly bright. Is just going to glance up and go like, my mother used myrrh quite a bit. I think that works.
Used what? No, you know what? No, this is taking too long. I'm just gonna ask Nadara and said maybe she'll feel generous, and they'll just like pull a clump of grass from the ground and like sprinkle it into the bowl, and then go ooga booga and cast divination.
Okay.
and like a crushed daisy.
Ooga booga. Grant me my
Quite
mystical
sacrificial of you.
divination.
You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. What is your question?
Will investigating the cabin be directly beneficial to our quest? Rather, will the grounds of the cabin have things that directly benefit our quest?
If your
Then
intentions are pure, it is a doorway to what you see.
Holy shit, yo, guys, I just spoke to Nadara. She says we're good.
She says we're good.
Solid?
As long as we don't go there and be terrible people, she said it's a doorway to what we need. So
Well, I'm certainly not going to be a terrible person.
should we bring a fruit basket or something?
I feel like if we were to make one now, it would probably be a little disrespectful because we'd end up harvesting like all of the fruit from places that we don't own.
Sure.
Is Serrani still not back? No.
He just he came back and
was.
left.
Alright, well,
I
I guess.
assume he's gonna
So it
put
work-
one
so-
of those
so-
seed things in, near the
Yeah.
tree, right?
Or he's going to probably present it as like an
Yeah,
offering
like-
to.
Yo,
Right.
find us in your forest.
So it worked then, Mirth.
Yes.
We should. Then our destination is the cabin.
Oh, that's hilarious. Nadar says we're good.
So,
Then I guess we head there. Or we're about to.
Wait, sorry, I think I missed that.
what'd you say?
Me?
Yes.
I missed what you said. Sorry.
I said that I suppose we should head there. If we're not gonna wait on for it.
So I think we're just waiting on Mirth to finish up ritual casting
Oh.
Phantom Seed to conjure
Yes.
honesty.
Yes.
And then,
Mirth brings forth honesty. And
and then
As he
Warden
always does.
Thunder Roll is gonna lead
I'm
us.
just gonna say I left my horse back at the monastery.
you left your horse back at the monastery?
Is this legit so that Luna has an excuse to drag Basir back to the monastery for round 2?
I don't
It
think
was so
people
nice
know.
having a bed.
I don't think people know what you're talking about. I'm not
They should read the RP chat.
Yeah, the RP,
I think
the
everyone
RP chat
has,
is visible by all, by the way.
Long story short, Vasir's a man now.
I think
Good God.
everyone knows that Basir
Wait,
is a man now.
did Vasir ever get that dress?
Yes.
Hey, yes, sir.
Yeah, because they went on the date back into Island Hill. And they were
Oh,
just like,
right,
I'm not
when-
wearing that.
They like invested too much in bread.
Yeah. Well, less bread, more the Pinot Noir.
I'm sorry, Mark. You look so tortured.
Alright, guys. Well, it is going to take you, I think 2 days travel to get to the cabin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you're up in this corner of the forest, and
We gotta be all the way down there.
Mirth is right, it's down in this area. So,
Where's trust?
I am omniscient.
you used spells, that doesn't
My
make you
knowledge
omniscient.
grows by the day, Mark. I know the movements of all men in Oregon.
So yes.
Well,
Can I go
more
talk to the
you have a
priest
direct
now?
line to the people who do know.
It's about 150.
Yeah, I've been
you-
wanting you to talk to the priest for the last 10 minutes, but you haven't been here.
Sorry, the dog lost his mind. The wife is going with the son and left the small child downstairs to deal with the crazy dog.
The party is waiting while Serrani heads to the Temple of Nadara in the center of the grove. You enter in, and the temple is a beautifully built white building with huge windows that allow nature to be easily seen from within, and light to get to the base of the tree.
I mean, where's it? So there's a building in front of the tree.
The tree is inside the building and grows up out of the ceiling of it.
Oh, okay.
Inside of the temple there's no floor. It is carpeted with grass, and there are priests tending to the garden that makes up the sanctuary that surrounds the tree itself.
I speak in Druidic and ask, who is the keeper of this grove?
A priest steps forward and says, I am the shepherd of Nadara here. How may I help you?
May we speak in private? This is all in Druidic. I'm not going to come out of it unless somebody else comes in.
Okay. The only ones here are the other shepherds.
This is a personal matter between myself, you, and Nadara.
Then, of course, let us walk, and you can speak with me. Tell me your troubles, child of Nadara.
My name is Sarani. I come from a circle that is under great attack from Wariga. Yours is the first tree like this I have seen in the above. How long has it been here?
Why is the music getting epic?
This tree has been here for several generations of elves, long before my birth.
Is it some place that you hold sacred that will not be despoiled by the outside?
Yes,
To have the power to protect it?
it is protected, of course. But why do you ask this? All temples of Nadara hold a tree such as this.
I have not seen it. And as my swamp is being corrupted, and the land around the swamp is corrupted by Wariga, I have chosen to extend he who lives within to other places in hopes that he will not be entirely lost if Wariga manages to find him. So I wish to add this to your tree. And Sarani reaches in and pulls out some of the bluish green phosphorescent elder spores. I wish to add this into the base, the heart of the tree.
I see.
You can hear if you listen closely. And he kind of holds it up to see if she can tell.
She says, yes, I can hear it. I will do this for you. Although I will plant it in the grove.
Not the tree. It should be with the tree.
It will be in the sanctuary with the tree.
Why not add it to the tree to allow it to fortify the tree, to allow the tree to fortify it, to protect it?
Do you know that this is what will happen?
I do not. I can only go in the faith of the blow, in the faith of the land, that it will protect itself.
As you have asked, this tree is a sacred place.
As is this. This is one of the few places I have seen that I feel safe to allow it to grow and harvest.
Then I shall attend to it as such.
And I hand her the spores.
She takes them. May the
If those,
guide you.
I have but 2 requests. One, never allow the blight to come into this grove. Destroy the grove before that happens. Waringa cannot have this kind of power. And 2, I asked for what I understand is a ritual that will allow myself and my companions to travel from tree to tree.
Do you know
We
such
must-
a ritual?
I do not know it. I know of it. Baraldi has spoken of it.
It is not one that I possess.
Do you know of one who could? We must reach several destinations very quickly to prevent this blight from the entire planet to succumb to this blight.
Perhaps the highest of our order in Avelia.
Would you be able to impart the wisdom on how to find that grove so that I may commune with them as well?
She nods. And if you have the time, she will tell you how to get to the Temple of Nadara in Avelia Woods.
Okay. I will keep track of that. And I thank her and I leave. But not before stopping and making sure that all of the plants are sufficiently helped, as it were. A little surrounding fungus boost
Yes.
to all the plants in here.
As Sarani finishes up, the warden turns to all of you and says, "Are you ready to be off? We have a couple days' journey through the woods."
We are.
I mind you
Pretty
that
sure.
Coriol is not a tame place. You will find that there are a number of creatures who live here that could prove dangerous. I would recommend that all of you stick close.
And Angus is gonna instinctively, without even stopping to think about it and realize this is probably not a good idea, just gonna wink, "Oh, don't worry, love. We'll protect you."
Humans.
Can
always
I
so
s-
presumptuous.
Can I telekinetically flick Angus on the head? Through the telepathic link, just bing.
It's just telepathic.
Yeah.
And so the warden gathers you all and leads you in the direction out of the elf home and back into Coriol Forest to head in the direction of Merwin's cabin. You'll have 2 days of travel, which I will have you make some rolls for over the course of this week. But it is getting close to 5, and I know that
Any dead animals?
any dead animals. Yes, you find a dead animal.
By the way, if we
Okay.
encounter any difficult terrain, you
So-
can essentially discount it because I can
All right.
notify.
So when Sarani moves over to investigate, what kind of animal is it? This is kind of
It's a rabbit.
it's a rabbit. So Sarani goes over to investigate it, and as he's looking at it, everyone sees these darker spores kind of come off of Sarani and kind of grow over it for a second, and then it gets up and starts following Sarani.
He never done that before, has he?
Oh,
Does it turn into a wolf?
It's a zombie.
You have a zombie rabbit.
It'll be with me for 24 hours, and it'll fall. Then I'll have to regain control of it.
Okay.
And sort of as the group are traveling, probably towards the second day, like late afternoon, Angus suddenly, sort of as he's walking, sort of stops in place for a moment, and then sort of looks directly up and just announces to the air, "Oh fuck! Tell Mara and Papa that I'm fine. We'll try to meet you there as soon as possible. Mirth will contact you later."
Yeah.
Everything
Angus,
all right,
you
Angus?
okay?
I got a sending from Archie. Lark said that she knew him. I guess they're together, part of the same group. They're going to Darkhaven. They're going to be there soon, and we can meet them there.
Who's Archie? Who's Lark? I wasn't there.
Oh, he was. Yeah, Luna was not there.
oh,
I
yeah.
know we haven't had time to up here, but like at the monastery, we probably would have like brought you into the loop in that, in
Yeah.
terms of getting you up to date about like here's what we know, because we did have the discussion last session about like whether we were going to go to Ravenreach.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
So like Luna probably is
And
in
then,
the loop in a way.
my sending to Lurk would have happened after that, so I would have gotten her response at some point during this journey.
Yes. Did you
Yeah.
get that response? I think she sent.
Yeah,
it.
yeah, she sent it, so
Okay. All right.
you're
Yeah.
up to date now.
And Sarani does not reassert control over the zombie rabbit on day 2. He lets it run off because I don't know how I did it. So there's just a zombie rabbit.
So many questions.
Well,
Darkhaven.
I think
I wanted to get that in before we started the role play thing because it's kind of
Yeah. Well, I know, Alex, you have another game at 5, right? So I think we're gonna pull it to an end here. You guys are headed to Merwin's cabin in Coriel Forest. You've spoken with the elves. They've given you a little information about what's going on in the forest. Had some good role-playing moments, but yeah. I think we'll
Broke the word.
everybody, I'm just going to have each of you do a favorite moment for your character, and then do a favorite moment for one other character. But try to do a character that someone else didn't, if you can. Okay? So, Alex?
Let's see. So fucking block. Favorite moment for this year. Probably just outright blathering about the whole like, oh yeah, we're here to see Merwin's cabin. I always love portraying Vasir's like total weird innocence on full display, even if it's at the detriment to what everybody else wants. He just is incapable of being deceptive and mischievous, or even if it's a good idea.
And then one for one other player.
Well, definitely, I was thinking about Sarani speaking like out loud when we were all telekinetically connected. Like, as funny as it was, it also tells me, like, in a way, he's still trying to develop an internal monologue, one that he doesn't generally have, or probably hasn't had any need to have for quite some time. Sarani always seems like the type of person who just says whatever like immediately comes to their mind without any sort of like jostling around for a moment.
Filter.
Without very little like thinking about things before pursuing any one course of action. Just knows what he wants to do, tries to go out and do it, always knows what he wants to say to people, just immediately says it regardless of context, regardless of appropriateness. So the whole speaking out loud while we're all speaking in our heads makes sense to me for his character. He's just because it's not something that he does at all.
So
He's not
basically,
ever-
Sarati is Cordelia. I don't see
Yes.
how this involves me. I don't see how this
Exactly.
involves me. Gets up and leaves.
Nor? Your favorite
Favorite-
Luna moment, and then one favorite moment for another character.
Maybe like telling the seer that will help you, but even though you're not being honest with us, that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite moment? It's either the seer like having this party while we're walking into the forest, or Serani's encounter with the priestess
Hmm.
and raising a dead rabbit.
didn't raise it. I zombified it. It's two totally different things.
Jeez, now there's gonna be a zombie rabbit plague in that forest. I hope you're happy with yourself.
I am. I'm totally happy with myself.
David, your favorite Angus moment?
I think it was like just Angus having this real general dedication to the concept of parlay.
Mm-hmm.
Because like his concept is like, well, I was a pirate, and this is how you engage when you've got another hostile group that you need to engage with, either because you're raiding their ship or because you're trying to communicate with like potential allies. So there's this sense of like, okay, we bring a gift and we show that we're not hostile and everything will theoretically go okay. And it's just like clinging desperately to that notion, even as everything was kind of like just going to shit. And then for another moment, it's like a toss-up between like Luna just generally being in that situation of like, I'm the leader now, and that coming across with her like engaging all the diplomacy with the seer, like accepting everything that we were saying, and then also being perceptive enough to go like, there's something you're not telling us.
Mm-hmm.
And not being like confrontational about it, but just like, no, okay, we'll do the thing that you want, but like I'm on to you.
Right.
And Mirth just cutting through the argument about whether we go to the cabin or not with like, don't worry, I'll ask Merwin.
Kim?
Mirth is fun. I think probably my favorite was just like near the start when everyone else was talking about like poking around in bushes and Angus was trying to parlay, and I just got the chance to say like, can you all just shut the fuck up? I'm trying to talk to gods here, and you're rather loud. That was just fun.
Mm-hmm.
As for other character moments, I was actually gonna say Angus being committed to parlay. I thought that was really good continuity with his background and that concept. But otherwise, David is just very, very good, and I'm trying to learn from that. And yeah, I think right at the end was great with the acknowledgement of the sending in the middle of a walk.
Yes.
That was great.
Rick?
I think honestly my favorite Serani moment was Serani has been learning to take those little shots like everybody else does, the snide offhanded remarks. So like the one to Visir, the one to Angus, the little one to Luna, those little tidbits where Serani is starting to be a little less stoic and just, driven, where he's just like, oh yeah, except for every time you actually talk to somebody, Visir. That's how it goes. It always goes right unless Visir is talking to them. And just those little things, like Serani never does, hasn't been doing that a lot. So the fact that he's starting to do that I really like trying to build on the fact that he's getting more comfortable with
Starting to pick up
humans.
on humor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to pick up on that. And the other thing is the back and forth between Angus and Xavier about the parlay, and both of them making a good point. But Xavier's like, look, you just need to let me know. Are we sneaking in? Are we walking in? I don't want to get shot. Okay, I get shot at a lot. I would prefer not to get shot. And Angus like, yeah, but we can just walk in. He goes, yeah, but just don't walk in with, just don't go, hey, shoot me. Like their whole conversation was, we can be friends. Yes, but if I'll be friends, but if they shoot me, I'm shooting them back.
Yeah, again, it's like a misunderstanding over the concept of what kind of behavior is going to get you shot.
Yeah.
Where it's like, but if you're walking in there with your hands up and no weapon, like they're going to shoot at you, and it's like, yeah, but if you go in there with a weapon, they're also going to shoot at you. Like, my version has the idea of like, we'll shoot us immediately, and we can try.
Yeah. Yeah. I just love that, but I also love the fact that you guys were all having that. And Mert's comments like, "Well, you guys should shut up. I'm trying to talk to gods here." Like that's
The perfect cinematic moment, though, of there's this argument going on between Angus and Xavier, and Sarani just walks past in the background into the forest.
Nate?
because that's what I'm supposed to do.
I think my favorite moment has to be the conversation between Angus and Xavier, because like it is literally like it is continuing the continuity. Because so far we've built up that Angus and Xavier don't really get on, so them arguing about whether to go in this way or go in like this way is like really good to me. As for another moment, I think I have to go with the Sarani. I have food. That made me chuckle.
All right, guys.
I also think that you did a real good job of tying in a lot of things this session. You didn't have a lot of time, but what story we had for this session really did tie a lot of not our game in particular, but the campaign as a whole. A lot of good tie-ins, a lot of kind of wrapping things around each other, which is really, really. I'm always amazed at the fact that you have 6, 8, 10, 12 games running simultaneously, and you managed to keep them all
Consistent.
revolving around these different 9 plot points, but you're always managed. Well, okay, 12. But you're always managed to make it consistent, so it feels like every group is a part of the same problem, right? We're not all dealing with the same problem in the same way, but we all have the same problem of what's going on to our world, and being able to tie in the elves that are primarily for one campaign, and then Merwin, which is another one, and then us with the demon lords, and then all that stuff kind of just like flowing together. I'm truly amazed at the amount of stuff, the amount of balls that you juggle at any given time. I want to say thank you for that.
Hey, man.
I just loved the situation of Luna stepping up and the warden immediately just going, "Hello, half human." Perfectly.
Well, guys, thank you. I know that the session got cut short a little bit because of unforeseen circumstances.
It's fine, man.
I hope you had fun, and I hope that it was it still drove the story forward. I feel like it did a little bit. So next week, let's have a good time. And
I want to kill something next week.
What's
I want
that?
more fighting. fight. I want to fight. I want to fight
Oh,
something.
of course you want to fight something. You always want to fight something. All right.
I'm a combat character. What are you?
I know.
Mer's got to do all his cool stuff now. I want to go beat something up.
You're an incredibly inefficient combat character.
Yes.
You need 5 rounds before you start doing things.
I do something every round. It's just the 5th round is when I kill things.
Ganassi, thank you so much for the bits. I'm glad you had fun. They say thanks everyone. So yeah, those of you in chat, thanks for watching.
Damn.
We appreciate you. Thanks for the bits, and that's awesome. We're still working towards 500 followers. When we get there, we'll give away a copy of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And again, every time we get 50 subscribers, we will send out some dice. I actually have to pull a couple names because I got to send out some dice for the first 50 we hit. We hit that on Saturday. We also, on Saturday, we hit our goal for our charity stream and raised another $500 for Extra Life, which is pretty awesome.
Yay.
Because of that, we're going to be scheduling out part 2 of Team Cringe in which they will continue to play a group of 12th level bards dealing with against the giants.
Okay, but hear me out on this one. What if the part 2 is a rival band with whole new players?
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
And then we can have a part 3 where the rival band and the original band like have to
Have a
conflict
Battle of the
in
bands.
some way.
It's a battle of the bands.
It
Battle
literally
of
will
the
be a battle
bands.
of the bands episode.
All right, look.
Yes.
Don't I do enough stuff to drive me nuts? I have enough crossovers where I have to have 12 players in a room. Do I really need to do that for my charities?
Yes,
too?
It's for charity,
Yes.
Mark.
my
Yes,
God.
It's for
Yes!
kids. It's for the
It's
kids.
for
It's
the
for the
kids.
kids.
Just
Do
so
it
you
for
know,
the kids.
just
Do
so
it
you
for
know,
the kids.
a giant, a hill giant, got enchanted into and basically manipulated into having an extramarital affair with a 50-something-year-old band manager for the kids in our
Oh, yeah.
charity stream. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Listen, just because it's for the kids doesn't mean that it's safe for the kids to watch. Like there's the difference.
Goodbye, everyone.
Oh, wait.
See you next
Hey.
time.
If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share with all your friends, and don't forget to go to Lundy's stream, my stream, David's stream, Nora's stream, Kathy's stream, Kim's
I
stream,
don't
everybody's
have a
stream.
stream.
He's just
Well-
covering all the bases.
He's covering
I'm
all the
just
bases.
You might, and when this is eventually uploaded in 2 or 3 years, then you might already have.
David and I will be back tonight at 7. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
I mean, you're at what, episode 6?